Good afternoon, everyone. Let us start. Remember, we have been learning types of rocks. Yesterday, we discussed about igneous and sedimentary rocks. Today, we shall learn about metamorphic rocks and rock cycle. Now, let me present my screen. Metamorphic rocks. So meaning is given here. The word metamorphic means change of form. Okay, meta means change, morphe form. So the word metamorphic means change of form is given here, change of form. These rocks, that is metamorphic rocks, form under the action of pressure, volume and temperature changes. So metamorphic rocks are formed under the influence of pressure, volume and temperature changes. Here, let us suppose deep in the earth interior, one rock is buried here, and from the weight of the overlying rocks and from the pressure from all the sides, these rocks will exert great pressure, and accordingly there may be a change in the volume. The volume may be reduced because of contraction, and there may be this increase in the temperature also if it is buried deep in the underground, and that is why this rock may be recrystallized and a new type of rock is formed, and that type of rock is known as metamorphic rocks. So let us continue. Metamorphism, that is the process of metamorphic rock formation, occurs when rocks are forced down to lower levels by tectonic shearing, by tectonic processes, or when molten magma rising through the crust come in contact with the crustal rocks or underlying rocks are subjected to great amounts of pressure by overlying rocks. So let me repeat. Metamorphism, that is the process of metamorphic rock formation, occurs when rocks are forced down to lower levels, that is in the earth interior, by tectonic processes because of the subduction of the plates, or when molten magma rising through the crust comes in contact with the crustal rocks or underlying rocks are subjected to great amounts of pressure by overlying rocks. So in that case, see, in this case, because of the weight from above and because of the pressure from all directions, so this rock is subjected to great pressure, and in this case, as I told you, there may be metamorphism. Or in the other case, see, let us see, here we have a chamber of magma. Here we have this magma chamber, and when the magma rises and contacts with this rock, then because of this high temperature, because of the great heat derived from the magma, okay, there may be recrystallization of these rocks, and in that case also there may be a metamorphism. So that is what mentioned in the book. And metamorphism is a process by which already consolidated rocks undergo recrystallization and reorganization of materials within original rocks. Okay, so this is the meaning of metamorphism. Metamorphism is a process by which already consolidated, means already formed rocks, undergo recrystallization, means new crystals are formed again. Crystallization, you know, this is the process of formation of crystals. But when a rock is again subjected to high pressure and temperature, there may be recrystallization, and a new type of rock will be formed, and that is known as metamorphism. Okay, the original rock structure will be transformed to another type of rock, and that type of rock is known as metamorphism. Any question from your side? So let me continue if you don't have questions. Here we have two main types of metamorphism. Okay, dynamic metamorphism, and another one is known as thermal metamorphism. So these are the two main types of metamorphism. And what is dynamic metamorphism? Let us read. Mechanical disruption and reorganization of original minerals within rocks due to breaking and crushing without any appreciable chemical changes is called dynamic metamorphism. So in this case, there may not be these chemical changes in the rocks. Okay, and so here in this case, metamorphism is taken place due to mechanical disruption in the tectonic shearing areas, or reorganization of the original minerals within the rocks, okay, due to breaking and crushing, and as I told you, without significant chemical changes. That is called a dynamic metamorphism. So let us examine this diagram. So the first diagram tells about metamorphism. Okay, metamorphism is just here is analogous to transition of clay to porcelain. Means metamorphism is just like similar to transition of clay, okay, a piece of clay to a porcelain. See here, see here we have this magma chamber. Okay, so if you see this diagram very carefully, then you will find that the closer to the magma chamber, then the higher the grade of the this rock. Okay, so it indicates here, if the rock is far away from the this heat, then low grade. Okay, then closer to the this heat, nearness to the heat, then there will be higher grade. And likewise, say higher the pressure, then the higher will be the grade of the rock, or the higher the pressure and the heat, the higher is the grade of the rock. Okay, see here, if a rock, if the clay is exposed under this low pressure, okay, and low temperature, you will get these low grade horn fells. And if the clay is okay, if the clay or the rock is subjected to higher temperature and higher pressure, then these intermediate horn fells you will get. And if the pressure is very high, and if the temperature is also very high, then you will get these high grade hornfels. This is just an example. Okay, the higher the heat and the higher the pressure, the higher will be the metamorphism process. Okay, the higher will be the grade of the rock. So in case of this dynamic metamorphism, okay, see here, see here at this particular point A. Okay, here let us say one rock is here, and as the plate moves, okay, as the mass of rock or the plate moves below the other, this is what we call tectonic shearing. Okay, so here in this case, one big mass of rock is sliding below the other, and this is called tectonic shearing. Okay, or in other words, we call it this overthrust fault. Okay, faulting process. So this is the case of this dynamic metamorphism. Okay, when a big mass of rock is sliding against the other, that at this point of shearing there will be this metamorphism, as you find here. Okay, as you will find here. See, these are the two big mass of rocks, or let us say plates. Okay, these are sliding each other against each other. So here this is the zone of shearing. Okay, here this is the zone of shearing, and it is again magnified here. Okay, it is magnified here, and here just see the original crystal structure. So this is the original rock, and see the this crystal structure of the original rock. And at the point of shearing, okay, at this zone of shearing, because of the high pressure, okay, and so there will be this metamorphism. See, the crystal structure is changed. This is the original crystal structure, and because of this tectonic shearing, here the rocks at the shearing zone is metamorphosed, and thus there is recrystallization. Okay, a new type of rock is formed, and that is known as melanite. Okay, so this is about this dynamic metamorphism, that is change in the form of the rocks due to pressure, due to mechanical or tectonic shearing. Okay, see here, mechanical disruption and reorganization of the original minerals within the rocks due to breaking and crushing without appreciable chemical changes. So in case of dynamic metamorphism, there is no chemical change. Okay, metamorphism, that is change in the form, is only because of this tectonic shearing, because of this mechanical disruption, that is a faulting process. Okay, and in the case of this thermal metamorphism, thermal, it is related with the heat. The minerals of rocks chemically alter and recrystallize. Okay, in this case, in case of thermal metamorphism, the materials of the rocks are chemically changed, and accordingly the crystals are recrystallized. Okay, and a new type of rock is formed, what we call metamorphic rocks. See here in this case, here we have a magma chamber, and see, magma is rising here, and let us say here we have a block of rock, and when the magma contacts, okay, with this rock, then there will be chemical changes, okay, of the materials forming the rocks, and accordingly there will be recrystallization process, and that is known as a thermal metamorphism. So any question from your side? Any question from your side? Okay, let me proceed. Again, we have two types of thermal metamorphism. Okay, the first one is contact metamorphism, and the second one is regional metamorphism. So these are the two types of thermal metamorphism. Now let us see what is contact metamorphism. In contact metamorphism, the rocks come in contact with hot intruding magma and lava, and the rock materials recrystallize under high temperatures. Okay, so in contact metamorphism, the rocks come in contact with the hot intruding magma and lava, and the rock material recrystallize under high temperature. And quite often these new materials from form out of magma or lava are added to the rocks. Okay, so in contact metamorphism, I think I have also explained earlier. Here okay, here this is another diagram showing this contact metamorphism. Okay, see here, this is the magma chamber, and here this magma is intruded here, and here we have country rock. Okay, original rock is here, and when magma contacts with this rock, then due to this great heat, okay, there will be recrystallization of this country rock, and a new type of rock will be formed, and this process is known as contact metamorphism, a type of thermal metamorphism. Okay, see here. Okay, this is what we call contact metamorphic zone. This is a rocks. In this case, the rock is nearby the magma chamber. Okay, so this is another diagram explaining contact metamorphism. As I told you, okay, the greater the depth, there will be higher pressure. Okay, and the closer to the magma chamber, there will be again the higher the grade of the rock. See here, in this case, shell is exposed under this low pressure. Okay, and accordingly these hornfels are formed, and again this sandstone, okay, sandstone is again exposed under high pressure, under intermediate pressure and the temperature, and we get this quartzite. And the limestone, actually this is sedimentary rock, another type of sedimentary rock. It is subjected to very high pressure and the temperature, and because of that it is transformed to marble. Okay, remember, if limestone is metamorphosed, it becomes marble. Okay, and next we have this regional metamorphism. Rocks undergo recrystallization due to deformation caused by tectonic shearing together with high temperature or pressure of both. In case of regional metamorphism, okay, recrystallization rock is due to deformation caused by tectonic shearing together with this temperature or pressure or both. Okay, see here, this is the case of this regional metamorphism. Here one plate, okay, here one plate, crustal plate is okay, subsiding beneath the other, So this is the point of this tectonic shearing. Okay, so here again it is pushing further and the pressure is increased, and at this particular point, okay, at this particular point the rock are subjected to this tectonic shearing as well as high temperature. So in this case there is a regional metamorphism. Okay, any question from your side, girls? I think today there is boys are not here, I think, today. Any question from your side?
No, sir.
Okay, then let us proceed. See, in the process of metamorphism, that is in the process of metamorphic rock formation, some rocks, grains or minerals get arranged in layers or lines, and such arrangement of minerals or grains in the metamorphic rock is called foliation or lineation. Okay, so in the process of metamorphism, some rocks, grains or mineral grains are arranged in layers or lines, and such arrangement of these mineral grains in lines or layers is known as foliation or lineation. Okay, so let me show you this one photograph. See, in this case I think you will be seeing this arrangement of the grains, arrangement of the mineral grains horizontally in lines. Okay, so this is called foliation, and we have some more photographs. Okay, so this is another photograph showing foliation. Okay, here these mineral grains are arranged horizontally. Okay, mineral grains are arranged horizontally. So this is known as foliation. Okay, foliation process. Foliation. And here this is another one. So in this case also mineral grains are arranged, okay, in lines. This is another example of this foliation. So this type of rock is known as schist, and it is a foliated schist. Okay, and see another example here. Here also you'll see arrangement of the grains in lines. Okay, so this is foliated gneiss. This type of rock is known as gneiss. This is foliated gneiss. So let us proceed. Sometimes minerals or materials of different groups are arranged into alternating thick and thin layers, appearing in a light and a dark shades. Okay, and such structure in metamorphic rocks is called banding, and the rock displaying banding are called banded rocks. Let me repeat. Sometimes minerals or materials of different groups are arranged into alternating thin to thick layers, appearing in light and dark shades. Such a structure in metamorphic rocks is called banding, and the rock displaying banding, the rock displaying alternate layers of these light and a dark shade are called banded rocks. Okay, banded rocks. So let me show you one example. Here this is an example of banded metamorphic rock. Okay, see here using a thick layer of this dark. It is again we have another layer of light shade. Okay, in this way you will get alternate bands of dark and the light shades. This is known as banding, and the rock is known as banded rock. And here this is a very good example of banded rocks. You are seeing this a layer of dark shade, and alternately we have a layer of this light shade. Here also we have got a layer of light shade. So So this is known as banded rock. The process is known as banding. Okay, then these metamorphic rocks, okay, are classified into two major groups. Foliated rocks. Okay, foliation you have learned earlier. Foliation means arrangement of the rock particles, arrangement of the rock materials or mineral particles, grains in lines, that is known as foliation. And so metamorphic rocks are classified into two major groups. One is foliated rocks and another one is non-foliated rocks. And here we have some examples of these metamorphic rocks. Those are gneissoid, granite, syenite, slate, schist, marble, quartzite. Okay, so these are important examples of metamorphic rocks. Now let us see some photographs. Okay, so this is an example of banding rocks. And here this is metamorphic rock. Okay, gneiss. And so this is the gneissoid. Okay, this is gneissoid as mentioned in the book. Okay, the first example here, gneissoid. And next we have this is syenite. Okay, syenite. This is again this gneiss, okay, with banded structure. This is another photograph of syenite. And this is a photograph showing slate. This is also another photograph showing slate. This is another photograph of slate. This is schist, as we have seen earlier. Okay, foliated schist. And this is non-foliated schist. Okay, here you don't find, you may not find arrangement of materials horizontally. And this is marble. Okay, pink marble. And this is white marble. I think you are familiar with marble. And here this is another photograph showing white marble. And this is quartzite. This is quartzite non-foliated. This is also quartzite. Another photograph of quartzite. And here the last one, okay, this is also a quartzite. Okay, here the color is greenish green, and so this is because of impurities. So these are some examples of metamorphic rocks. And next we have rock cycle. Okay, first let us read. Rocks do not remain in their original form for long but may undergo transformation. A rock cycle is a continuous process through which all rocks are transformed to new ones. So rock cycle is a continuous process through which all rocks are transformed into new ones. So this is the meaning of rock cycle. And here you'll find a complex diagram, okay, here depicting rock cycle. So let us read this area. Okay, Igneous rocks are primary rocks, and other rocks such as sedimentary and metamorphic rocks form from these primary rocks. Igneous rocks can be changed into metamorphic rocks, and the fragments derived out of igneous and metamorphic rocks form into sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks themselves can turn into fragments, and the fragment can be a source for formation of sedimentary rocks. The crustal rocks, that is igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary, once formed, may be carried down into mantle, that is into the interior of the earth, through subduction process, and the same melt down due to increase in temperature in the interior and turn into molten magma, the original source of igneous rock. So in this way, the original rock is changed into a new rock. Okay, so let us see here. Okay, see here. Here we have this magma chamber. For example, magma chamber is here, and the magma rises upward, and it may be cooled down here, and the plutonic rocks are formed here, what we call this igneous rock, and it may be ejected on the surface of the earth, and here also igneous rocks are formed. So these igneous rocks are also known as primary rocks, because these are the rocks which were formed first of all. Then because of the exogenic forces, okay, that is because of the sunlight, then wind, then other atmospheric forces, there will be weathering process. Okay, this rock will be withered, it will be broken into smaller pieces, then it will be transported. Okay, it will be transported in the low-lying areas. The fragments will be transported in the low-lying areas and will be deposited here, and through the cementation and the compaction process, sedimentary rocks will be formed. Okay, say from the igneous rock, then sedimentary rocks may be formed, and again due to this faulting process, this sedimentary rock may be buried in the underground. Okay, here, and here due to this high pressure and the temperature, sometimes magma may rise and touch it, and because of that there may be this metamorphism. Okay, and the metamorphic rocks are formed, and here in the subduction zone, okay, when one plate is moving downwards beneath the other, okay, this is another plate. In this case, this rock may be carried further downward, and so it will be melted. When the rock is carried downward deep into the earth interior, because of high pressure and temperature, it will be melted and will turn into magma. Okay, so in this way there is a cycle, and this is known as rock cycle. From magma to igneous rock, then from igneous rock, then you will find the sedimentary rocks. Then again, if it is buried in the underground, then metamorphic rocks will be formed, and again if this is buried further, then it will be melted and will be will turn into magma. So in this way we have got a cycle, and this is known as rock cycle. And here in this diagram also see here, from here it is started, we have magma chamber, then there is cooling process, then intrusive rocks are formed if it is cooled down in the earth interior. If it is cool on the surface of the earth, extrusive igneous rocks are formed. Okay, then if it is formed in the earth interior, then it will be exposed due to the uplifting process, or because of the erosion process, the rocks buried in the underground will be exposed. This is what we call outcrop. Okay, and again the rock will be withered. there will be weathering process, erosion process, transportation, deposition, and because of that, okay, these sediments will be compacted. And here, so because of compaction in the earth interior, in the low depth, okay, there is a formation of sedimentary rock. Okay, and again, if it is buried further, then because of the this heat and pressure, there will be metamorphism, forming metamorphic rocks. And again, if it is buried underground in the interior, it will be melted and the magma will be formed. So in this way, we have got a cycle, and this is known as rock cycle. Okay. So any question from your side?
No, sir.
Okay, if you're clear, then let us stop here for today. And do not forget to send your name in WhatsApp group for attendance. Thank you very much for joining my class.
Thank you, sir.